Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Miami Comedy Podcast. I'm Manny Garavito, and today we're going to be talking about how are we going to upgrade the Miami experience now that spring break is right around the corner. Here's the thing about being a tourist in Miami. When you come here, they give you the worst advice on what to do. When you go online, when you go on YouTube, they say things like, hey, why don't you go to Miami Beach and walk around the sand? We already know that. We already know that if we go to Miami Beach, we're going to experience the sand and the water and the sun. But what are the real experiences of Miami? Okay, and now that spring break is coming, we're going to be flooded with tourists. If your travel agent is suggesting you to go to Miami, your travel agent doesn't care about you. Because that's like saying, hey, why don't you rent out this cabin next to a volcano while it's active? You never know what's going to happen in our city during spring break. It's like GTA out there, but to each their own. If you're living on the edge and you want to come here during this time of the year, that's your call. But I highly recommend travel agents out there that are telling their clients to come to Miami to provide bail money in advance, just in case, because you're going to need it. Let's face it, man. What they advertise as tours or destinations in Miami is not really Miami. We don't live like that. We're out here sinning in Miami. There's temptation everywhere, and we're making bad decisions every day and surviving. The real Miami experience is where you're actually a little scared on what's going to happen tonight when you're out. You don't know the kind of people you're going to see in Miami Beach. It's a random spectrum of personalities. And you think you might know how to read somebody's body language? You really don't until you go to Miami Beach. Because in Miami Beach, you could see someone with a very long beard, they're dirty, and they have shorts and flip-flops on. You might think they're homeless, but they're actually a millionaire. Drunk and full of drugs, just walking up and down the streets of Miami Beach. His mansion is right down the block. If Miami Beach is your number one destination, here's what I would recommend. Travel guides, why don't you give them the experience they're going for? If you're out there giving boat rides, if you're renting out jet skis, if you're renting out, what do you call those three-wheeled cars, the slingshots, how about instead you give them an experience they'll never forget that goes on brand with Miami? Why don't you give them the Cocaine Cowboys experience, where you get on a speedboat and you're racing down the waters of Miami Beach and you're role-playing. Whoever is piloting the boat tells the passengers, all right, guys, I hate to break it to you, but there's millions of dollars worth of cocaine in the hull of this boat, and we just got a tip-off that we're about to get chased by a helicopter. And then you got your boy, which is your partner, flying a helicopter, high speed, and then now there's a chase scene that your clients can experience. And you can give them fake guns, like fake electronic guns or something. They can shoot at the helicopter and stuff like that. They take photos. The Miami Vice City experience. We escaped with millions of dollars of contraband on the boat. And then you take photos and then you sell the photos. It's a great experience. It's legal. People are already offering boat rides and helicopter rides. Why not include it as a role play? That's why people come to Miami. They don't come here to do cute stuff. They come here to pretend to be scammers, to be gangsters, to be drug dealers. They want to live life dangerously. Help them achieve that experience. I think bus tours are a waste of time. Why would you want to get stuck on traffic? Just because there's no roof on the second layer of that bus? Who cares? Oh, look, there's that so-and-so building. Oh, look, there's Maserati parked illegally. What is so special about a bus tour guide in Miami? It's hot. You're stuck in traffic. There's nothing to do except look around. How about instead of a bus tour, somebody out there provides a street takeover tour guide? All right, this is probably illegal, but you might be able to make some money off of this if you can pull it off. And that's where you, somebody that owns a fast car, preferably a loud Honda Civic, you offer a tour where you and your buddies take over the Palmetto, and then your client is sitting as a passenger in your car, and you start doing donuts at 2:30 in the morning. And you could give them options. You can give them options to be a passenger on the side of your car or in the back of the car, or they can be outside recording you doing it in the front lines. Now, of course, not only is this illegal, it's also very dangerous, but you just have them sign off a waiver where there is no liability in case of an accident or in case you guys get arrested. But I think that's a tour guide that people would pay lots of money to experience. Where people out there in Miami are taking over the streets, the cops show up, and everybody just scatters. And then right back to your hotel room, safe and sound. Why would you offer a Little Havana tour guide and recommend people eat ice cream while they're in Little Havana. That's not a good idea. That's not a good experience. Oh, while you're in town in Miami, you should go visit Little Havana. Go experience the culture. Eat some ice cream while you walk down Calle Ocho. That's boring. What's the real Little Havana experience? How about you drink 3 shots of cafecito, you walk up and down the streets of Calle Ocho, you feel your heart racing, and all of a sudden, you've got the confidence to go band for band playing dominoes with a guy named Junior with a Y. All right, you lose $3,000 in an hour, and then you can go right down the street, visit a santera, you tell her all about your problems and stresses of life, and she'll cleanse you by surrounding you with chicken carcasses, incense, and candles. That's the real Little Havana experience. The real Little Havana experience is when you go to Calle Ocho at a nightclub with your wife, and some salsa dancer swoops her off her feet, and all you could do is just watch as your wife has the time of her life getting twirled around the dance floor. That's the real Little Havana experience. Another tourist experience that you should really take in to really understand the city of Miami is you gotta ride public transportation, because locals don't really ride that. That's for people going to their next drug deal or people that don't know any better. So if you really want to sense the fear, 365 days of the year, without you having to wait for Halloween to go into a haunted house, you know what the real ghost tour guide is in Miami? You get on public transportation and you get all those crackheads all up in your face, just shaking and moving. Give me $1, man. Oh shit. That's our ghost tour. We don't have werewolves, ghost stories. We don't have superstition. We have aggressive crackheads out there trying to figure out if they should rob you or not. Here's a little disclaimer for the people that are planning on visiting Miami during the spring break. Don't bring your family, especially kids. Don't bring children. It's a bad look as a parent for you to bring children to this city. Tell them you're going on a business trip, because if you bring your family, you're going to find yourself in many situations that is going to make you look like a bad influence, because there's temptation everywhere. You're going to succumb to them and you're going to make mistakes. For example, if you bring your family and they're at a hotel, they're going to start wondering where you are. Mommy, where's Daddy? Daddy said he was coming home at 10 o'clock. It's 5 in the morning. He's not home yet. Daddy's at Club 11, partying hard. And then when he comes home, his eyes are red, eyelash residue, shirt all fucked up. And then you got to tell your kids why. And then you got to explain to your family where you've been. And even worse, you got to tell your family the vacation's over early because you spent all your money. Daddy ran out of money, but he had a good time. Miami does have a science museum, but it looks like it's like stuff you learn in 3rd grade, like that basic science stuff. We want real Miami science. What are the mysteries of Miami that involve science? Why does a brick of cocaine that weighs 3 pounds float? That's a great opportunity to learn about mass, buoyancy, and surface area. The mystery of floating cocaine bricks in Miami Beach. Why does that happen? Those things weigh 3 pounds. Explain the science behind it. Those are the things we want to know as tourists. That's relevant to our city. And it allows us to learn. And it's intriguing. And it's relatable. Another thing that we can learn in a Miami museum when it comes to science is, why is the caffeine so potent in our city, especially when they come in such small containers? If you go to Starbucks and you get like a venti of caffeine, it still doesn't come close to the high you get from the little thimbles at a Cuban bakery. Explain the science behind that. Because let's face it, our coffee here is so potent that I really think that in the future, the DEA might get involved and might see all the contraptions we use to make it as paraphernalia. There's something going on with the caffeine in Miami that seems illegal. You know, the same way heroin addicts put the heroin powder on the spoon and then they put the lighter underneath it and they cook it and then they shoot it up. I feel like the same thing is happening when I'm putting a little coffee pot made out of aluminum on the stove, and then it starts shooting up the top, and then I got to take it off, and then I got to put a little bit in another container, and I got to mix in the sugar, and then I got to froth it up. It seems illegal, the whole process. Seems like I should be selling this in the street. So tell us the science behind why it's so powerful. All right, that's something we can learn at a science museum in Miami. I'm going to Margaritaville, Miami Bayside. But Margaritaville is so cliche. Really? Margaritaville is the biggest tourist trap anywhere you go. If you're traveling anywhere and you see a Margaritaville, you're not traveling. You're a tourist now. If there's a margarita within a mile radius of where you currently are in any city, you're cutting yourself short from experiencing your vacation. You are in the wrong side of town. I'd rather be in the hood of a city I'm visiting than to be in an area where there's a Margaritaville. What are you going to do when you're on vacation? You're going to go to the movies? Oh, look, right next to the Margaritaville, there's an AMC movie theater. Why would you do that? Oh, you're from Europe. Yeah, Europe. The thing about Europeans is they go to different places and they're just fascinated about anything. I don't have a really good European impression, but here's my attempt. Oh my God, look at this. Look at this Cuban man. Look at the size of his cigar. He's wearing boat shoes with an all linen outfit. How peculiar. His fedora looks great. Fascinated. I give a lot of credit to the vendors of Miami Beach because they're essentially legal drug dealers that are great at communicating. And it's fascinating to see the phenomena that is South Beach vendors, because they can have an entire kiosk or an entire suitcase full of something that they look like they're selling. It looks like they invested in their inventory. Somebody with a bunch of roses, literally carrying it around, sweating. They look like they're uncomfortable. And they're walking up and down Ocean Drive. Red roses? Anyone want red roses? And they come up to you, you want a red rose? No, thank you. I also got that white rose. Damn. You really put up all this effort selling red roses to sell me a white rose? I like it. Let me get some. They go around, big old suitcase full of cigars, high end. Puerto Rican cigars, Dominican cigars, Spaniard cigars. No, thank you. I don't smoke. I got another kind of smoke. Damn, you bought all that just to sell me weed? I like the effort. Somebody go around with a whole crate of puppies in front of their bike. Selling pit bull puppies. I'm selling pit bull puppies. I also got a puppy named Molly. Oh, shit. You're out here taking care of pit bull puppies to sell people Molly? So shout out to all the South Beach vendors, man. You guys are really doing a great job. You're entrepreneurial, you're smart, and you're making Miami amazing. I think tourists should experience more Miami Beach vendors because it's a phenomena. The way they're going around and getting away with it. It's great. That is it for the Miami Comedy Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe. Also check us out on our other social media platforms. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next episode.